The United States Justice Department reported on March 21, 2024, that a high-ranking member of the Gangsta Disciples and a leader of its parallel female organization, the Sisters of the Struggle SOS, were sentenced yesterday for their roles in a murder conspiracy stemming from gang-related retribution that resulted in the shooting deaths of 3 men. Philmon Deshawn Chambers, also known as Dollar Phil, 35 of Atlanta, was sentenced to serve 2 consecutive life terms in prison plus 10 years in prison. Andrea Page Browner, also known as Drea, 29 of Athens, Georgia, was sentenced to serve 2 concurrent sentences of 30 years in prison. Local police believe that Chambers is the Browner's pimp and had his girls set up and kill Apollo Rucker. According to court documents, Chambers held a position of authority within the National Gangsta Disciples criminal organization, which included overseeing members of the enforcement team. Enforcement teams within the Gangsta Disciples are directed to discipline gang members for violations of gang rules through physical assault or murder. Co-defendant Leslie Chappell Green, also known as Grip, 35, of Stone Mountain, Georgia, was a member of the enforcement team and held the title of Assistant Chief Enforcer. On December 10, 2018, a Gangsta Disciples member was murdered in Athens. Chambers and Browner sought retaliation for the member's death and believed 3 unnamed Athens residents were responsible. On December 14, 2018, Browner, 24, at the time, and also alleged prostitute met Apollo Rucker at a downtown Athens motel and learned that he was related to one of the individuals she believed killed the Gangsta Disciples member. Browner told him, Rucker, in a text message that it would be $80 for a QV, or a quick visit, the affidavits noted. Rucker negotiated it to $70. Browner sent text messages directing Chambers to travel to the motel, which he did. Chambers then followed the individual home and shot and killed him. Browner notified a Gangsta Disciples associate that she and Chambers would be leaving town because the police would be looking for them. On December 15, 2018, Browner was taken into custody in Mt. Enterprise, Texas. However, Chambers, who had been in the vehicle with Browner, fled from law enforcement. Chambers was suspicious that someone was cooperating with law enforcement and incorrectly concluded that 2 individuals were snitches. Chambers directed Green to carry out the murders of those 2 individuals. The 2 individuals were lured by Green, as directed by Chambers, to drive from Athens to Lawrenceville, Georgia, to break into storage sheds and steal items to send to Chambers as aid and assistance as he was hiding out from law enforcement in a Gangsta Disciple safe house in Killeen, Texas. On deck 19, 2018, the 2 individuals were murdered and their bodies were concealed in the storage unit. Chambers and Green, along with Robert Maurice Carlisle, also known as Different, 37, of Lithonia, Georgia, and Shabazz Larry Guidry, also known as Lil Larry, 29, of Decatur, Georgia, conspired to dispose of the victims' bodies, which included potentially burning the bodies or dumping the bodies in a landfill. A federal jury convicted Chambers in August 2023 of racketeer-influenced and corruption organization RICO conspiracy, murder in aid of racketeering, carry and use of a firearm during and in relation to a crime of violence, and causing the death of a person using a firearm. Browner was also convicted in August 2023 of RICO conspiracy, murder in aid of racketeering, and causing the death of a person using a firearm. Carlisle and Guidry both pleaded guilty on June 8, 2023, to RICO conspiracy and are scheduled to be sentenced on March 22. Green was sentenced on Feb. 20 to life in prison after a federal jury convicted him on Aug. 17, 2023, of RICO conspiracy.